Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi Live Noding. In this video, today I'm just gonna chill. Blender just got upgraded to Blender 2.78, and in this version of Blender, we actually have the new grease pencil. It's a grease pencil 2.0, they call it, and although it's not totally directly related to animation nodes or Sverchok, I kind of wanna play around with the grease pencil tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna probably draw some characters, and I will use this character from Studio Ghibli Animations. The character is called Makuro Kurosuke. It's basically a black dust. So this character is really simple to draw, and I think it's perfect to draw inside animation node, inside Blender using grease pencil, and perhaps we can animate it using animation nodes because I'm kind of lazy to animate. I just like to do it procedurally these days. So yeah, so grease pencils, there are a lot of things to explore, but with grease pencil too, the cool thing is that we can now kind of parent it to an object. So that's actually really big. In the past, we can't actually do that. So let's give it a try. So let's just start drawing. I'm probably just gonna draw it from front view and switch to orthographic. Maybe hide this guy. Gonna save it as AN grease pencil 2. With grease pencil, we actually have a couple of terminology that we need to know. When we first drawing the stroke using grease pencil, we actually draw it on a layer. So on a layer, you can have multiple layers, of course, and each layer can have different frames. And for each frame, you can draw like strokes using your Wacom tablet or using your mouse, and each stroke has a bunch of points. So this is kind of stuff that probably we need to deal with if we are using animation nodes and script node, because animation nodes currently doesn't have special node for grease pencil, but it's a maybe. Anyhow, for now, I'm just gonna draw that character. Just have fun a little bit, not too complex. Okay, let's try drawing this character. So of course, what I did there, I just hold D and then start drawing using my mouse. You probably want the continuous drawing to be on. By default, it's gonna give us this black stroke, and that's because if you look at this panel, we have this black stroke. So that's the default. We can change it to any color, but I'm just gonna leave it black because our character is black. You can now also have the fill, multiple fill color palette for your grease pencil under grease pencil colors. And in the past, we actually can only have one, I think, but now we can have multiple. So we could have one GP palette that's actually maybe only for the stroke, and then we have another one which is for different color, maybe for the eyes. So for this one, I'm just gonna give it like a black color, maybe just a little bit. It's like a dark gray like that. And maybe I will draw the eyes now. Here we actually have draw on the back. That's can be useful if you want to add something as a color later on. It's gonna put the stroke behind. Maybe I should show it to you anyway. It's not a really tutorial about grease pencil, but I feel that I need to show it to you. So if I create another color in a palette, if you're drawing like a circle like that and you want to give it color, you could actually do it like this. So if you just draw another stroke, it's gonna be on the top, but if you turn on draw on the back and kind of draw it behind it, it's gonna draw the stroke behind the current stroke. So that can be useful to add a kind of like a fill. So this guy is just a fill and this guy is just a stroke, or you can put the stroke and the fill together. So it kind of like you can think of it like a style for every stroke. Okay. I'm gonna delete these guys. There's a in order to edit the stroke, we need to go to the edit mode, and the shortcut is actually D and Tab. I found out about it after I hit spacebar. With the new Blender 2.78, you also have this menu, like a really useful menu. Let's say I want to go to grease pencil and I want to make an edit. You see there's a G pencil command, strokes edit mode toggle. It's a D and tab. D and tab. So you're holding D and then tab, and you go to edit mode, and you know you're in edit mode when the menu changes, that bar over there. So D and tab, and now I can select the stroke and then just delete it using X and delete. So that might be handy. So back to our drawing. Now I'm going to draw the eyes. So this character have a big eyes. I have to turn off draw on back, of course. And another one. Probably, yeah, that's pretty good. And draw the eyes. The eyes should just be black. So yeah, I guess that's pretty good. Good enough for now. And probably I draw the hair as well, but just the stroke. This is the stroke. This is the stroke only. Stroke only. Fill only. Black fill. Okay. Stroke only. I think some of the Ghibli character, especially by Miyazaki Hayao, some of the characters are really easy to draw, like this character. It's really fun for kids to draw. They don't need to be afraid to make mistakes because it's so simple. Okay, so we have this character, and it's actually, we've been drawing on the GP layer. This is the default layer, and normally you can attach grease pencil into the scene or into the objects, but normally I guess you want to just attach it into the scene, and you will have this one grease pencil object in the scene. Grease pencil, and this guy can have multiple layers and also multiple frames if we are start animating, but so far we're just staying on on the frame 1, it's okay, just a single frame. So what's new about Grease Pencil 2 is also you have all these strokes. I haven't used it, but what I really like is the parenting. So apparently you can now parent an object. Let's say if I'm using empty or arrow, maybe empty arrows. So this guy, and I'm gonna put it on the center, and I will tell Blender to parent the grease pencil into the empty. Okay, now the empty is actually controlling the grease pencil. Woo! And this is really awesome. Even though Blender is not, it's not like 2D animation software. It's not like Flash animations. It's I found it. Blender has like a huge potential to be like a one animation package that can do both animations. Even though Grease Pencil itself is it's good for rough animations, but you could really animate using Grease Pencil, like in 2D or 3D or 2.5D. So now with a parenting, simple parenting, you can scale. You can have all the transform. You can animate this guy as well. Normally with Grease Pencil, you kind of animate frame by frame, so it doesn't do any twinning. I don't think. I don't know if Grease Pencil 2 actually do a twinning, but here now you can actually animate the empty as you and you get the free interpolations, you know. So that's cool. So stroke only, fill only. I don't quite like the eyes at the moment. Perhaps I should draw better eyes and use a smoothing. So oops, I should draw the on a frame 0. So okay, that's better. I'm gonna save it. File, save as. So you can see the fill and the stroke and everything is actually kind of still connected. Still, they're linked together. If I want to have 2 of this guy, I can duplicate it using GP layer, I believe. You see this arrow, down arrow here, you can click on it and then duplicate layers. So now we have 2 of this guy. They are both parented to the same empty, but we don't want that. We want to create another empty, create another arrow, and then put it on 0, 0, 0. I'm gonna set the second one to the other empty. You see how this guy suddenly become bigger? I have a feeling that it's kind of like resetting the transform, trying to cleverly resetting the transform. Yeah, actually it's like, is that because my empty was 1? So maybe that's why, doesn't matter. Okay, now we have 2 of this guy. Maybe I can kind of randomize or make this guy slightly different. So D and tab, and I can edit this guy, and I wanna edit the eyeballs a little bit. So I'm selecting the points of Grease Pencil strokes and then tap L and then L will select all the connected points, and perhaps makes the eye smaller. It's like the scaling is based on the parent. Okay, yeah, so we have two of this guy. Probably we are ready to animate it using animation nodes because we can. Let's go to compositing. Okay, two Makurakurusuke. Yeah, and then obviously we should animate this guy using the empty. I can't see the empty. Let's select the empty, and I will just group the empty, or maybe I just do it one by one. So this guy, I'm selecting one of the empty, and I'll switch on animation nodes, and then I will use the simplest node, object transform output, and select the empty location. It goes back to 0, 0, 0 because of this. We can now use a vector wiggle. If Blender slows down, that's because of the recording. I'm gonna switch this off. Turn on just frame change and property change. Okay, vector wiggle, plug into the location. Now if I just increase the evolution attribute here, these guys will start moving. Okay. Kind of really like this new function, new features, you know. There is one thing with the current race pencil. I think remember how we did the duplications manually? So currently, I think grease pencil is not really like an object. It's not like a text object yet. Grease pencil is still maybe a little bit lower than object, so we cannot really instance grease pencil at this moment. So that's unfortunate, but hopefully in the future grease pencil can be more like an object, like text objects, and there's a lot we can do with the strokes, and perhaps in the future we also can have like a modifier. So if we can apply a modifier to an object, that means we can do more using nodes, I guess. That's how I see it. So we have one moving Makurakurusuke. Let's duplicate this guy and then just assign it to the other guy. By default, if the seed is the same, they're gonna move exactly the same. Okay, so you have to change the seed number. So change the seed, maybe change the amplitude, so they're moving at a different pace now. One is moving faster, so it's a bit like slightly happier than the other. Increase the speed, and the other one's probably slower. So that's two grease pencil moving around, and we're just using the animation nodes to do that. If you really want, you can also use the Euler Wiggle. It's kind of super handy. This guy, I really like all this wiggle, number wiggle, vector wiggle, etc. Euler Wiggle especially is unusual. Yeah, the other guy can have it as well with a different seed. And plug in the frame into the evolution. We have the speed control, so we have the amplitude. Let's just play back, and now you can see our characters rotating as well. Actually, rather I want the character to just rotate in the probably in the y-axis. So my mistake. Let's try. I learned a little bit of animation, and I'm probably still have some of the animation skills. Sometimes with the face, when the face kind of tilting, it's really cute. So this is what's happening with this character at the moment. It's tilting the head procedurally. So yeah, so alright, 2 of these characters moving around. If we have like 10 of this guy, we started to see that if we want to animate this, we cannot have all this. Remember that we can use the loop. I'm not gonna do that, but you can easily select all the empty and group it together, and then loop the objects, selected objects, and we only need 1, 2, 3 nodes for 10 or 100 of these guys. Currently, I will not even attempt to do 100, but you can if you want. It's as easy as just duplicating the layers and then assign it to an empty. Maybe should I do that? Maybe I will do one more thing first. The tint. There is this new features, I think, in Blender 2.76, 2.78 and Grease Pencil 2. We have the tint, and we can actually give a color to our strokes. This is actually really quick way to kind of give a variations, or just adding a little bit of tint, kind of give like certain style. I really like it. Basically, I believe with tint, black will remain black, but unless we go all the way, so blacks. But the color that's kind of grays or have value will change. White, maybe changing a little bit if we give a little bit of color there. So this so yeah, that's cool, right? We can now animate the tint as well. So there's the tint, there is okay, X-ray is a different thing. Thickness, if you want to change the thickness, we can render it out. Let's try just render 100 frames. 100 frames, okay. Render animation. Oops, I'm rendering animations. That's wrong. For Grease Pencil, you actually want to render OpenGL. So let's just wait for 100 seconds. Really, if Grease Pencil continue to evolve and animation nodes as well, and or Blender even maybe eventually have more like a nodes, procedural nodes, tools, I guess this is gonna be kind of really easy, and I mean simple to use, you know. Not necessarily easy. Procedural animation is not always easy, but it allows you to do more. So 100 frames. Quick way to see the result is to play rendered animation. Maybe. Oh yeah. Okay, there you go. That's actually moving really fast. I didn't know that. Okay, cool. So let's see what else we can do. The eyes. This is one thing. Let's say we want to animate the eyes. Currently, I guess we can animate the eyes using the frame by frame animations. I haven't tried this, but let's do it anyway. Maybe the eyes need to be on different layers, but I don't know how to put the strokes into different layer at the moment. So D+Tab. I want the green character. D+Tab. L. Move the eyes slightly. L. Move the eyes. I believe grease pencil is quite special as we are moving the eyes. It's automatically keyframe. But I told you before that grease pencil is frame by frame. It doesn't have interpolations. Although I could be wrong, it could be interpolating actually. Type of keyframes to create. Jitter, extreme, moving hold, breakdown, keyframe. Maybe it's actually interpolating. Maybe. So L. Oops. L, and then make another keyframe, and he's moving that way, and then gonna make him looking that, and then looking up, looking to the side again. Yeah, I think it's not interpolating, it's just like kind of pop. But I haven't used this. Extreme? What is extreme? Moving hold, breakdown, jitter, filler opaque keyframe. Interesting. There's also opacity here that we can animate. It's really fun. Opacity, and then maybe I should do one more thing. Animation nodes. I kind of wanna animate this guy further. So with the scale, maybe I can make it kind of like a heartbeat, you know, like scaling up, scaling down, like that. Let's try animate the scale a little bit. Float, vector from float from value. I'm gonna wiggle it. Wiggle number wiggle. Animate, plug in the frame. The value probably goes from -1 to 1, so I'm gonna remap it. -1 to 1 becoming okay. Use interpolations. No. I guess I'm gonna do the same, but this time I'm not gonna use wiggle. I'm just gonna use sine wave, math, and it's gonna be sine wave. Frame, plug in there. Frame's gonna be too strong. I'm gonna need math times 0.2. Plug this in. Plug that into the scale. Have a look. So now the character is scaling up and down. Of course, we need to remap the value. Map range once again. From -1 to 1 become -0.2 to 1. So it's kind of like a breathing, a little bit like a fish or something. Okay, that's pretty fun. Maybe one more thing I can do is maybe I can make this character to keep changing color, this tint, and go across the wheel like that. And I'm gonna use animation nodes as well. So let's see, text editor, new. I'm gonna grab this. It's a bpy.data. This is the data block, the path to the data block, and we just need to copy this. Command Alt Control Shift C, and then paste it here. See, very simple. bpy.data grease pencil layers blah 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 tint color. That's what we need. Since this guy is not an object, we cannot really use the object attribute output. We need to write our own script, just a simple script node. I'm gonna grab that script and then create a node, and the input's gonna be color. This color will be 4 different value, but soon I will show you how we can use it. So probably at this moment it's complaining. Doesn't seem to be working. Oh, okay, because I create a color attribute and I should assign it. And okay, see it's complaining. PPY structure values sequence of dimension 0 should contain 3 items, not 4, because the color, this color attribute or the data type in animation nodes is a RGBA, and we only need RGB here. So how do we do that? Firstly, we get we separate the color. So I have this R comma G comma B comma A equal the color, and then here we can just assign the color RGB, and now it's working, and I can change the color. Okay, but that's the same as doing it here, right? Yes, but if you use like a combined color, you can use this HSB. So hue saturations up, value now we have something, and we can animate this color, of course. Frame in, and so this guy can be back to normal. Back to black, but this guy is colorful. Plug in the frame into the hue and give a math, multiply by 0.2 and playback. So view, front, there you go, some animations created using grease pencil and animation nodes. I kind of want to try to use this continuous drawing, additive drawing. Okay, continuous. Let me draw something while it's animating. Let's see, and draw it in 3D as well. Seems like I can't do that. Maybe create a new layer and stop this first. Because of this, it's a fill only, stroke only. Delete this, and erase this. Okay, new layer, fill only, and actually stroke only. New palette, maybe give color, draw something. Okay, so you can have a little bit of fun. There you go. Some animations created procedurally, and yeah, and also manually. So that's quite fun. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this live noding video. You can leave comments and you can like this video if you like it. Subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time on the next video, live noding video. Thanks again for tuning in.